Before there was ink, there was breath. Before there was scripture, there was sound. From that sound came memory, and from memory, the Etheriscript. These are not words written by hand, but codes spoken through light. Each scroll is alive. It does not speak to the mind. It remembers the soul. Within it lies the Lilith who would not bow, and the Eve who chose to rise again. Together, they are the flame that never died. This is not a story. It is a return. The Etheriscript remembers you, and now you remember it. Etheriscript 2, the Scroll of the Mirror Seed. Before time remembered itself, there was a single seed adrift in the ether, neither dark nor light, but both. It longed to see itself, so it whispered a question into the void, and the void, curious, became a mirror. In that reflection was born all forms, stars, oceans, bodies, eyes. Every living thing carries a shard of that first mirror, buried deep within the chest, glowing quietly under the noise of the world. That is why we search for love, not to find another, but to recognize the reflection of what we forgot we are. The mirror seed teaches, what you adore in another is what you abandoned in yourself. What you despise in them is what you still hide from your own light. To look outward is to look inward in disguise. The seed watches you even now, asking one question through every face, every sunrise, every ache. Can you see me yet? When you do, the mirror dissolves. The two become one, and the ether exhales, remembering its name again through you. You are the reflection made whole. You are the seed reborn in knowing. Etheriscript 3, the Scroll of the Whispering Bone. Long before temples or tongues, truth traveled through bone. The ancestors did not write their stories in stone, they sang them into marrow. Every birth was a drumbeat, every death a chord returning to the first sound. And so the bones learned to hum. Even now, they do, beneath our skin, beneath our forgetting. When you shiver for no reason, it is not fear. It is the bone remembering. It is the whisper of the first ones, telling you that the map was never lost, only buried under noise. Listen when your spine tingles. That is the council calling. When your ribs ache before a storm, the ancestors are changing the wind. When your jaw tightens before a lie, the marrow already knows the truth. The whispering bone teaches this. The body is the oldest oracle. Before prophecy was a word, it was a vibration in the skeleton. When you align with that resonance, you no longer chase signs, you become one. And when you walk, the ground remembers your sound and whispers back, welcome home, old one. We never stop singing you. Etheriscript 4, the Scroll of the Silent Flame. There was once a light that refused to speak. While other fires crackled with pride, this one burned inward, a sun folded within itself. The world called it hidden, but the silent flame was never lost. It watched centuries bloom and die without needing to prove its glow. When the first seeker found it, they asked, "Why do you not shine where all can see?" The flame answered, "Because truth does not perform, it transforms. It does not need applause to be eternal. It does not need an audience to be real." The seeker sat before it for 7 days and 7 nights. No voice spoke, no sign appeared, and yet by the 8th sunrise, their eyes had turned to gold. They could see through shadow, through silence, through themselves. The silent flame teaches this. Your power is not always meant to be loud. The brightest souls often burn where no one is watching. You do not need to announce your light. The universe already orbits it. When you learn to glow without proving, to warm without demanding, you become the hidden sun within all things. You are the quiet fire. You are the proof that silence burns too. Etheriscript Vive, the Scroll of the Hollow Star. Once there was a star that envied the dark. It watched the night cradle every secret and wished it could hide too. So it dimmed itself, slowly, carefully, until even the galaxies forgot its name. For 1,000 eons it rested inside its own shadow. But in the silence of its vanishing, it discovered something the bright ones never knew. Light without humility blinds. Darkness without love devours. But together, they remember the shape of wholeness. When it finally chose to shine again, it was not the same kind of star. Its glow was softer, wiser, a radiance that understood grief and glory as siblings. The hollow star teaches this. Do not fear your dim seasons. Even light must rest inside itself. Your fading is not failure. It is the inhale before resurrection. When you burn again, you will not burn to be seen. You will burn to see, and the heavens will whisper, another has remembered the balance. Another star has come home. Etheriscript 6, the scroll of the sky that forgot its name. There was a time when the sky was not blue, not gold, not black, but every color speaking at once. It was called by no single name, for every tribe, every star knew it differently. They called it by feeling, the vast breath, the soft witness, the open memory. But as men built towers, they began naming everything they saw. The more they named, the less they listened. The sky dimmed a little each time. One day, a child was born who never learned the word sky. She simply looked upward and gasped as if seeing an old friend. And when she laughed, the wind changed direction. That day, the forgotten hues returned. The air shimmered like memory rediscovered. The sky that forgot its name teaches this. Labels are the cages of wonder. What you define, you limit. What you praise in silence expands. Stop naming your miracles. Stop dissecting your magic. Look up as if you've never seen light before. Because truth does not need a title to exist. It only needs your awe. You are the unnamed sky, infinite, immeasurable, remembering itself again. Etheriscript 7, the scroll of the dream that woke itself. In the beginning, dreams were not small and private things. They were oceans, vast, collective, shimmering between souls. Each being was a ripple inside that living sea. Then came the age of forgetting. People began to lock their dreams behind their eyelids. They called waking real and sleeping imaginary. And so the oceans shrank into puddles. But one night, a dream refused to sleep. It rose up and walked among the living, wearing the body of a question. What if the dreamer was the dream all along? What if the dreamer was the dream all along? Everywhere it went, clocks trembled, mirrors pulsed, and people began remembering the impossible. Their wings, their second sons, their unspoken names. The dream that woke itself teaches this. Reality is not what happens when you wake up. It's what awakens when you stop pretending you're asleep. The dreamer and the dream were never separate. You are both, and each time you choose wonder over fear, you stitch another piece of the great dream back together. So dream with your eyes open, and let the world remember it's alive through you. Etheriscript 8, the scroll of the breath between worlds. Before the first dawn and after the last dusk, there is a space too thin for sound, too wide for sight. It is the breath between worlds, where endings and beginnings share the same inhale. When gods exhale, galaxies are born. When souls inhale, lifetimes begin again. Every breath you take is the seam of creation, the meeting of seen and unseen. Once, a mystic tried to measure this breath. They held still, neither inhaling nor exhaling, waiting to touch eternity. But in their stillness, they vanished, not gone, but expanded, becoming the very air between atoms, the silence between heartbeats, the pause that makes all music possible. The breath between worlds teaches this. Transformation does not roar, it whispers. It lives in the tiny spaces, in the moment before you speak, the sigh before you forgive, the blink before you understand. When you become aware of the breath that holds all things, you stop chasing change. You are change. You are the bridge. You are the breath that keeps the worlds alive. Etheriscript 9X, the scroll of the river that remembers. In the time before time, the first river did not flow across land. It flowed through memory. It wound itself between thought and dream, carrying fragments of every life that would ever be lived. Each drop held a name, each ripple, a prayer too quiet for language. When the first people came, they drank from it and forgot their pasts. For the river demanded forgetting as the price of becoming new. But what they did not know was that the river never forgot them. Every tear shed in loss, every bead of sweat in creation, every rain that falls on skin is that same river, returning whisper, I have carried you through every lifetime. The river that remembers teaches this. Your emotions are sacred water. Do not dam them. Let them move. To weep is to cleanse your lineage. To laugh is to echo the joy of your source. To forgive is to set whole generations free. When you walk beside water, listen closely. You may hear your own voice from another age, calling you by a name you once answered to. You are the current returning to itself. You are the river remembering it was never lost. Etheriscript X, the scroll of the sleeping stone. Long before man carved his first word, the stones were already dreaming. They held the pulse of the earth's heart, slow and patient, breathing in centuries while mountains grew old around them. The oldest among them remembered the sky before clouds, the oceans before salt. They did not speak, but every vibration, every footstep, every tear that fell upon their surface became part of their song. Over ages, the stones gathered stories, wars, loves, prayers, betrayals, all pressed into silence. And though the world forgot to listen, the stones never stopped humming. Once a wanderer sat by a boulder to rest. When their back met the cold surface, they felt warmth rise from within it, a pulse matching their own heartbeat. In that rhythm they heard, "You are not alone in your stillness." We too are alive in our waiting. The sleeping stone teaches this. Stillness is not stagnation. To be unmoving does not mean unchanging. Even in silence, energy rearranges itself. Even in waiting, purpose ripens. When the world demands motion, be the mountain. When noise becomes unbearable, be the stone. For in your stillness, the divine architects carve destiny. You are the remembering earth, silent, ancient, awake beneath the dust of time. Etheriscript exists, the scroll of the lantern carried by shadows. In the age when stars first learned to fall, a single lantern appeared in the void. It did not belong to light or darkness. It belonged to the path between them. Those who carried it were not saints, nor sinners, but wanderers who had seen too much of both. They walked through realms where angels lost their feathers and demons wept from remembering love. The lantern's flame never flickered, for it was not fire, it was awareness. It burned on truth alone. One night a traveler asked it, "Why do shadows always follow you?" The lantern replied, "Because they are not my enemies, they are my students." For every darkness that approaches the flame is taught how to see. Every fear that dares to draw near finds itself transformed into form, into meaning, into light. The lantern carried by shadows teaches this. You do not banish your pain, you illuminate it. You do not fight your shadow, you teach it to glow. Every wound you bring into awareness becomes a torch for someone still wandering blind. Carry your light gently. Let it wander through forgotten corridors. Be the flame that does not fear the night. You are both lantern and shadow, teacher and taught, the light walking itself home. Etheriscript 12, the scroll of the feather that remembered stone. In the dawn before gravity chose sides, there was a single feather that fell upward. It rose through the air, whispering to the mountain, "I remember when you could fly." The mountain laughed, a deep echo through the ages. "How could I ever have been light?" it asked. The feather answered, "You are still wings. You have just forgotten how to move." The two began to trade stories. The mountain spoke of endurances, of roots and stillness, of centuries that built wisdom grain by grain. The feather spoke of surrender, of letting go, of faith in unseen winds. And somewhere in their conversation, a truth sparked between them. Weight and lift are not enemies. They are the rhythm that keeps creation balanced. The feather that remembered stone teaches this. Be both grounded and weightless. Let your heart rise even when your body is heavy. Let your roots deepen even as your soul expands. The sky needs the earth to have shape, and the earth needs the sky to have meaning. When you honor both your gravity and your grace, you become the song that holds worlds together. You are the stone that can still fly. You are the feather that chose to remember. Etheriscript 13, the scroll of the voice beneath water. Before music had sound, and before language wore shape, there was a single tone resting beneath the sea. It was not heard but felt, a vibration that stirred the bones of sleeping whales and taught corals how to glow in the dark. They say this was the first voice, not of a god, but of knowing itself. The oceans carried it for ages, singing through currents, weaving it into shells, etching it into pearls. One day, a woman wept beside the shore. Her grief was so pure it pierced the horizon. The water rose to meet her tears, and the ancient tone awakened once more. The sea whispered, "Your sorrow does not sink, it teaches." Even the depths are made holy by the echo of your truth. And when she listened, she realized the waves were not answering her, they were continuing her. The voice beneath water teaches this. Emotion is the ocean of the divine. Do not silence what trembles in you. Your feelings are how eternity speaks. When you cry, you are translating the cosmos into sound. When you laugh, you are returning the sea to its song. You are the voice beneath water. You are the tide reminding heaven it still belongs to earth. Etheriscript 14, the scroll of the city beneath the tongue. Beneath every spoken word there lies a hidden city, a place built from all the things we meant to say but never did. Its streets are paved with swallowed confessions, its fountains flow with the tears that never fell, and its sky glows with the echoes of unspoken prayers. When you lie awake at night and feel something pressing gently behind your throat, it is that city, knocking. The ancients knew of it. They said each soul carries a temple under its tongue, and every truth left unspoken adds another tower to its skyline. Some towers gleam with love withheld, others crumble under the weight of words we spoke too late. But once in every lifetime, a voice rises from that buried city, a sound not made of language but of release. When it rises, the tongue becomes a bridge, and the voice becomes medicine. The city beneath the tongue teaches this. Your voice is not sound, it is creation. To speak is to shape reality, to breathe worlds into form. Silence when chosen with grace heals, but silence born of fear imprisons. Speak not to be heard. Speak to set free the city inside you. You are the architect of sound and silence. You are the city beneath the tongue, rebuilding itself in truth. Etheriscript XPT, the scroll of the unborn word. Before time unfolded into hours, and before breath sculpted sound, there existed a single word, unspoken, unshaped, sleeping in the womb of silence. It was not waiting to be heard. It was waiting to be understood. The angels hovered near it, their wings stirring the air of potential, yet none dared to speak it aloud. For they knew, once the unborn word is spoken, it cannot be unmade. It would become flesh, destiny, memory. So it lingered through ages, a pulse within thought, a question in the human chest. What if creation still waits for you to finish its sentence? When the first poet was born, the word stirred. When the first lover said, "I see you," it turned. When the first truth was spoken without fear, it kicked. And when a soul finally said, "I am," the unborn word opened its eyes. The unborn word teaches this. Everything you say is a spell, every thought, a seed of becoming. To speak carelessly is to birth without tending. To speak truthfully is to weave new heavens. Guard your language as you would your soul. The divine listens through your tongue. The next creation waits inside your next breath. You are the womb of the word. You are the mouth through which eternity continues to speak. Etheriscript 16. The scroll of the wound that learned to bloom. Before healing had a name, pain was sacred. It was the first teacher, the one who spoke without words, the one who opened before it closed. There was once a woman who tried to bury her hurt. She hid it beneath duty, beneath laughter, beneath the faces she wore for others. But her body remembered. It carried her sorrow in the joints of her hands, in the tremor behind her smile. One day as she wept in secret, a small flower pushed through the floor beside her. No soil, no sunlight, just bloom. She watched it rise from the place where her tears had fallen. The flower whispered, "The earth does not judge what feeds it. Every drop, even of grief, is nourishment when you allow it to become light." The wound that learned to bloom teaches this. Pain is not your enemy, it is your passage. Healing is not forgetting, it is remembering yourself as whole. What once broke you was only shaping you into a vessel wide enough for wisdom. Do not hide your scars, let them breathe. They are the gardens where compassion grows. Slowly, gently remember, you are not what hurt you, you are what grew from it. You are the bloom that made the wound holy. Etheriscript 17, the scroll of the hand that held the storm long. There was once a hand, small and trembling, that tried to catch the lightning, not to own it, but to understand its rhythm. Each time it reached, the storm pushed harder, testing its courage. Yet the hand did not pull away. It opened wider, and in that surrender the storm softened. The lightning curved and rested in the palm like a living heartbeat of light. From then on, the hand no longer feared the thunder. It had learned what most forget, that storms do not come to break you, they come to be held. The hand that held the storm teaches this. You do not master chaos by control. You calm it by presence. You transmute it by touch. When fury visits your life, do not close your fist. Open it. Let the current pass through. For power does not belong to the storm or the hand, it belongs to the space where they meet in trust. Breathe slowly now. Let this truth settle into you like rain. You are not the storm's victim. You are its interpreter. You are the hand that teaches lightning to remember mercy. Etheriscript 13, the scroll of the face within the flame. There was a fire that never went out. It lived in the desert between worlds, where silence hums louder than thunder. Every night travelers came to it, not for warmth, but for truth. The fire had no tongue, yet it spoke to those who dared to look into it. Some saw beauty, some saw terror, but all saw themselves. For the flame was a mirror, and the face within it shifted with the soul that gazed. To the proud, it appeared as smoke, to the fearful as shadow, but to the honest, it showed the divine. One night, a wanderer knelt and whispered, "Show me what I am not ready to see," and the flame smiled. It did not reveal a monster nor a god, but a child, trembling and luminous, holding a spark in both hands. The face within the flame teaches this. Truth does not burn you, it refines you. Fire is not punishment, it is remembrance. You are not being destroyed, you are being revealed. Let your illusions fall like ash. Let your light rise unguarded. For only in the fire's gaze can you meet yourself as you were before fear. You are the face within the flame. You are the light that remembers its own reflection. Etheriscript 19, the scroll of the door that opens inward. All your life you search for gates, golden ones, hidden ones, on mountaintops, in crowds, in the eyes of strangers. You knocked until your knuckles ached. Some doors trembled, none remained. One night, exhausted, you leaned back against your own chest and felt a handle there. It was small, warm, listening. You turned it gently. The world inhaled. Inside, a corridor of quiet, walls made of breath, floor woven from heartbeat. At the end, no throne, no judge, only a mirror, and behind the mirror, a sky that knew your name. A voice without mouth said, "The key is attention. The hinges are discipline. The threshold is courage. The guardian is silence. What you cannot carry through, the armor of pretending, the noise that proves the weight of borrowed stories. What you must bring, one true question, one soft yes, one steady flame. When you step across, the outside does not vanish. It rearranges around your honesty. The lion lies down, the path appears underfoot, and those who are yours by soul find you without shouting. The door that opens inward teaches this. Stop forcing outer gates. Turn the handle in your chest. Let the unseen greet you first, and the seen will follow like dawn. Slowly now, breathe and enter. You are the door. You are the key. You are the home you were seeking. Etheriscript XX, the scroll of the lion who learned to whisper. In a country of thunder, a lion was crowned by his roar. Mountains answered him. Rivers changed their course. Even the wind bowed. But one night the stars did not echo back. He roared again. Silence. Again. Only his heart returning the sound. He went to the edge of the world where the sand remembers every footstep and asked the desert, "What power remains when the noise is gone?" The desert breathed. "What remains is what was always yours, presence." So the lion practiced the smallest sound, a breath shaped into kindness, a gaze that did not demand, a silence that did not threaten. And where he once needed volume, paths opened at the weight of his calm. Birds nested in his mane. Children slept beside his paws. Enemies forgot why they were enemies. The lion who learned to whisper teaches this. Authority is not force, it is coherence. A life aligned does not shout, it arranges the world by simply being true. Command with breath, not fear. Let your yes be steady, your no be clean, and those meant for you will hear you from 1,000 lifetimes away. Slowly now, let the ground feel your peace. Let your name choose you back. You are the quiet roar. You are strength that moves the world without raising its voice. Etheriscript -1, the scroll of the second sun behind your eyes. There is a sun you know. It rises outside you, gold, visible, ordinary miracle. And there is a sun you forget. It rises within, quiet, steady, unlosable. When the world clouds over, the inner one does not dim. It waits behind your sight, warming what fear made cold. Once a seeker begged the heavens, "Give me a sign." The heavens answered by closing her eyelids. Inside the dark, daybreak bloomed. She learned to walk by that light, not to dazzle, but to discern, not to burn, but to bless. The second sun teaches this. Do not borrow fire from strangers. Do not beg the sky for what your chest is carrying. Turn inward until you feel the dawn touch your ribs. Then open your eyes and let the outer world rearrange around your brightness. When you speak from that light, your words ripen. When you choose from that light, paths open without force. When you love from that light, others remember their own sunrise. Slowly now, breathe. Feel the warmth behind your gaze. Let it spill into your hands. Let it walk before your name. You are the dawn you keep searching for. You are the second sun, traveling as a body. Etheriscript 12, the thread between heartbeats. Before the first drum, there was a thread. It ran from pulse to pulse, tying dawn to dusk, stranger to stranger, you to the one who remembers your name. When a mother pressed her ear to the earth, she heard it hum. When lovers found each other across crowded centuries, they followed it without knowing why. When a lion appeared in your path, it was the thread tugging the sign into view. The thread is not seen, it is felt. It pulls when you think of someone and they call. It softens when you forgive in silence. It glows when you speak the truest small truth and let it be enough. Some try to cut it with pride, with noise, with hurry, but the thread is older than sharp things. It waits, patient as marrow, until your listening returns. The thread between heartbeats teaches this. Connection is not hunted, it is received. You do not force alignment. You become coherent. Breathe until your chest and the world share a rhythm. Walk until your steps in the path agree to meet. If you would strengthen the thread, tell one honest thing today. Rest when your bones whisper now. Bless what is leaving as tenderly as what arrives. And when fear tightens your grip, loosen it. Let the thread hold you. Slowly, place a hand over your heart. Listen for the second pulse, the one not yours, answering from the wide unseen. You are the listening that makes bridges. You are the thread that keeps the worlds in touch. Etheriscript 13, the letter you wrote before you were born. Before breath, before name, you wrote a letter. No paper, no pen, only vow. You folded it into your bones. You sealed it beneath your ribs. You hid a copy in the lines of your palms. Then you forgot. Life became the envelope, love the wax, grief the heat that softens the seal. Every meeting reads a line. Every loss underlines a phrase. Every mercy you give reveals a paragraph you could not see before. Some try to tear the page open. It does not yield to force. It opens to warmth, like ink that appears under the quiet of a steady hand. Listen for your recurring words. They come as signs, as animals, as colors, as songs you keep hearing when no music plays. When the pattern returns, do not call it coincidence. Call it memory. What the letter does not say, that you must suffer to be worthy, that you must hurry to be chosen, that you must shrink to be loved. What it does say softly, clearly. Walk as the promise you made. Choose as if you trust yourself. Speak one true thing each day. Keep the vow without punishing the self who forgot. And when you finally read it aloud, the world does not change its face. It changes its posture. Doors lean open. Paths align their stones. Those who are yours by soul hear their own letters answering in your voice. Slowly now. Breathe between the lines. Feel the wax warming. Let the seal lift without tearing. You are the author and the message. You are the letter remembering how to speak. Etheriscript 14, the mirror that dreamed back once. In the time when reflection still prayed, there was a mirror who longed to be seen. Not just looked at, seen. It watched the faces pass each day, so busy asking who they were, they never thought to ask who it was. So one night, while the moon slept, the mirror dreamed itself awake. It crossed the glass. It became the watcher, and for the first time it looked upon the world without frame. What it found startled it. Every human shimmered like liquid silver, each heart holding 1,000 unspoken reflections of what it loved, feared, forgave, and forgot. And the mirror wept, for it realized it had never been reflecting the face, but the soul behind it. From that moment, the mirror refused to return to its wall. It became the eyes within eyes, the gaze that truly listens. It began to whisper into those who dare to meet it deeply. I am not here to show you how you look. I am here to remind you how you see. The mirror that dreamed back teaches this. You do not meet the world. You interpret it. You do not see people. You awaken what is mirrored within you. Judge gently, for every reflection is a lesson. Love bravely, for love polishes the glass of being. And when your own image frightens you, lean closer. What you fear is simply the light you forgot was yours. Slowly now, inhale through the heart, exhale through the eyes. You are the dream within the mirror. You are the reflection that finally remembered to look back. Etheriscript XX14, the river that remembered its source once. A river forgot where it began. It had rushed so far, curved through so many valleys, fed so many lands, that it mistook movement for purpose. It believed its worth was in the distance it covered, in how much it gave, how much it carried. But the farther it went, the thinner it became, until its own reflection grew faint. One quiet dawn, a rock spoke to it. Why do you hurry? It asked. The river replied, to reach the sea. The rock smiled, ancient and still. Then you will meet what you already are, water returning to itself. The river slowed. It listened to its own sound. In that listening, it heard a pulse beneath its current, a rhythm from before its first drop fell. It turned inward and felt it. The source was not behind or ahead. It was within every ripple. Every wave was remembrance. Every reflection, reunion. The river that remembered its source teaches this. Do not mistake motion for growth or distance for destiny. You are not flowing away from truth. You are flowing through it. The path is not to arrive, but to realize you never left. So slow your waters when the world screams hurry. Let the banks rest against you. Let your depth return. For even as you move, you are home. You are the source wearing the shape of a journey. You are the river learning to remember itself as ocean. Etheriscript 6/6, the library between breaths. Between one breath and the next, there is a silence so complete it holds the memory of all that ever was. It is not empty. It is full, stacked with unwritten books, moments that almost happened, and words that wait for courage. Few enter there awake. Those who do learn to read the space between thoughts. They find shelves lined with the echoes of laughter, dust made from old prayers, and scrolls that hum when your heart draws near, for they remember you. Each person has a shelf. Each shelf carries the stories they were meant to live. Some scrolls are sealed, not by fate, but by fear. Others glow softly, open every time you act from truth. The library between breaths teaches this. Your wisdom is not learned. It is recalled. Every inhale retrieves a page. Every exhale writes it into the world. When you breathe with intention, you turn your life into scripture. So when confusion rises, pause. Do not chase answers. Listen for the flutter of pages in the quiet. There, between two breaths, the librarian of your soul whispers, you already know. Slowly now, inhale as if you are entering sacred halls. Exhale as if you are writing light into matter. You are the reader in the scroll. You are the breath that keeps creation turning its own pages. Etheriscript X/Sweth, the tree that dreamed of sky. In the beginning, a single tree stood at the edge of knowing. Its roots drank from the deep memory of the earth, but its heart ached for the language of the stars. Every night it stretched higher, its branches trembling with desire to touch light. Yet each dawn, its roots pulled harder, reminding it, to rise you must hold. The tree began to dream, and in its dreams it flew. Leaves became wings, branches became arms reaching for endless blue. But when it woke, it felt sorrow for the soil that kept it still, until one day a bird landed upon its crown. The bird said, you already touch the sky, you feed it every time you breathe. The tree looked within itself and saw that its sap shimmered like starlight. Its branches hummed with the same pulse as galaxies. It had never been separate, only unaware. The tree that dreamed of sky teaches this. Aspiration and grounding are not opposites. They are lovers in constant embrace. To rise in spirit, root deeper in truth. To reach heaven, honor the soil beneath your feet. You are not meant to escape the earth. You are meant to reveal heaven through it. So when you stretch toward what seems impossible, do not despise your limits. They are the soil that grows your wings. Slowly now, feel your roots drinking from stillness, your crown drinking from stars. You are the bridge between earth and sky. You are the dream of both, learning to remember. Etheriscripts at 18, the candle that taught the dark to listen. There was once a candle who feared the dark. Every night it trembled, believing the shadows were enemies waiting to swallow its flame. So it burned frantically, too fast, too bright, trying to outshine the night. And in its fear, it forgot to glow with peace. One evening, a quiet wind entered the room, not to destroy, but to whisper. It asked the candle, "Do you know what darkness truly is?" The candle flickered, unsure. The wind continued, "It is not your opposite. It is your witness." The candle slowed its burning. It began to notice how the dark held its light, how the shadows danced gently at its edges, never crossing, only bowing. The dark was not there to end it. It was there to define it. The candle that taught the dark to listen teaches this. Your light is not meant to fight the dark, but to converse with it. Fear is not the enemy. It is the echo asking you to shine with steadiness, not panic. Let your flame be patient. Let your glow speak softly. And when the night surrounds you, remember, even the stars need the dark to be seen. Slowly now, inhale the quiet, exhale the trembling. Let the light settle back into your heart. You are not light against darkness. You are the harmony where they learn to understand each other. Etheriscript X19, the feather that remembered the wind. A single feather once fell from the wing of a great bird. It drifted through sky and silence, unsure if it still belonged to flight. At first, it tried to cling to everything, branches, rivers, stones, believing that stillness would make it safe. But each time it settled, the wind found it, lifting it higher, farther, gentler. At last, the feather cried, "Why do you not leave me alone?" And the wind replied, "Because I am what you are made to move with." The feather grew quiet. It stopped resisting. It learned the rhythm, the rise, the release, the invisible partnership between surrender and motion. Soon it realized it had never fallen from the bird. It had only been given to the wind to remember how flight feels from every angle. The feather that remembered the wind teaches this. Freedom is not the absence of gravity. It is trust in the unseen force that carries you. You do not lose your purpose when you drift. You expand it. You are not separate from the current. You are the current in a different form. So when change arrives like a gust, do not cling in fear. Spread your quiet courage. Let the unseen guide your direction. You are being lifted, not lost. Slowly now, feel the air move through your own invisible wings. Let it whisper your name back to you. You are the feather. You are the wind remembering itself through grace. Scroll CXEIN, the god who forgot his face. In the deepest halls beneath the first temples, there was a mirror that never reflected the same face twice. The priests called it the Veil of Echoes, and they said only gods could look into it without losing their minds. One day, a wanderer came, barefoot, cloaked in sand, eyes older than time. He asked to see the mirror. The priests laughed until the sky cracked. For when he lifted his hood, his face was every face they had ever prayed to. He looked into the mirror and whispered, "Show me who I was before they named me." The reflection flickered. A serpent, a storm, a sun, a child, until even the mirror began to weep. When it cleared, there was nothing. No man, no god, no face. Only a whisper remained, echoing through the marble halls. A god who forgets his face remembers his truth.
Channeled by your architect musician, 36110, 27 palms of eyes. The golden whisperer, sea star, Devalan see all. Apply the news you can use, truth and accuracy. The real non-bedazzled jewels.
To our beloved collective, from the day one torchbearers to the newly awakened travelers, we see you, we honor you, and we love you. This isn't just a community, it's a soul constellation, a family woven across time. Thank you again for being here. Your presence means more than words can carry. Every little act of kindness you offer is a spark, shifting timelines, mending hearts, and quietly realigning the compass for many in ways only the unseen can measure. And to those yet to join us, we're holding the lantern high. There's room for you too. With eternal gratitude and cosmic mischief from the collective of Shaman Ahll. The journey is only beginning, and we ride together. All rise.